Hey everybody, it's Doug here, Doug Mystic Guy on Board Game Geek, getting ready to do episode number 3 of our Fortune and Glory playthrough. We got our heroes Jake, Zane, Dr. Zhukov, and Mei Chen traipsing around the world trying to collect the necessary treasures to overcome the Nazis before they collect them. So far we have one hero, Mei Chen, who has a treasure in hand and ready to turn it in. We just got to get her to a major city. So why don't we just get going and not waste any more time? We'll just get right into the game. So let's get started with our initiative phase. As before with our initiative dice, this big bluish one is going to be Jake Zane, the white one is going to be Dr. Zhukov, and the green one is going to be Mei Chen. So let's roll their initiative and see what they get. Okay, so we get 2 1s. That's just great, because that's actually not the worst thing that can happen. So the Doctor and Jake Zane have rolled 1s, which means they're going to get to draw an event card. So Jake Zane's event card, not that it matters, that can be used by anybody. The tact is attacked at sea. It says play on any hero in a sea space. Their turn immediately ends and they are moved to an adjacent space of your choice. Okay. Or we can play while in a sea space during your adventure phase to gain 3 glory. That's pretty good. And then we get 1 for Dr. Zhukov. And it says, I'll take that. It says play to steal any artifact or gear from another hero. Play while in the same space as a villain to roll a d6 on a roll of 3+. Steal any one artifact that the villains currently have. That is really good, because they do in fact have an artifact and it's worth 5 fortune. So that is not a bad way to go. Anyway, we're going to have to roll off between Jake and Dr. Zhukov to see which one of those 2 guys is going to go first now, or go second and third basically. So we got a 3 and a 6. So that's the order of play that we're going to have. It's going to be Mei Chen, then followed by Dr. Zhukov and Jake Zane. Now, Mei Chen, now that we're done with our initiative phase, we're going to move into our movement phase. Now, Mei Chen, she's actually she's done well, but she is hurt. She's got 3 wounds. She's also got 6 fortune, and she's surrounded by treasures on the board, which I'll move to in a minute. One of the interesting things about that is that even though she is wounded, she is absolutely surrounded by treasures, and we got to get her to a city. Now, one treasure's in a deep jungle, so that's going to be hard to get to, and the other one's close by. That's the Cup of Doom, which is actually a good one for her to go for. While it does require 4 treasures to get, it has really no negative effects. I mean, it's worth 4 fortune, but it requires 4 dangers to be passed. So I think, and that is in the same area as Egypt, so I think what we're going to try and do in our movement phase is get her to Egypt. But next we're going to roll our movement dice. Okay, for Mei Chen we're going to roll our movement. We get a 1. Well, that gives her an event card. It doesn't allow her to get everywhere she needs to go, though. It says Deadly Challenge. Play on a test that a hero is about to take. That test is now a Deadly Challenge. If the test is passed, the hero gains an extra 3 glory. Okay, well that's not too bad. Worse things could happen, but this is definitely limiting her movement. So as we look on the board here, she's right here. Now, we could go here to the very good orb of the pale moon. You know, I think we might do that. It only requires 2 dangers. However, it's in the deep jungle, but it's got +2 to the fortune, so it's going to be only 2 dangers for 5 fortune. That's really good. So even though she's wounded, we can camp down and heal her wounds after passing a successful adventure if we're in trouble. But she can only take 1 wound, so we do got to kind of be careful. Let me think about that for a moment, and also see what we need to do to get to that treasure, and we'll go on from there. Okay, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to move here with Mei Chen. Okay, so in our movement, we're going to have Dr. Zhukov next. Now, he's not going to move because he's in a cliffhanger, so we have to wait for his time to move. But we still roll the movement dice, because if he rolls a 1, he still gets to collect He did not, but if he rolled a 1, he still would have been able to collect an event card. So now we're going to move on to Jake Zane's movement, and we'll roll that. And he rolled a 2, so now where is he? He is way over still. Let me tilt the camera. He is way over in San Francisco. Over here. Still can't see. He's way up in the top of the board. So let's, there we go. Okay, he can only move a 2. Where the heck is he going to go? Well, he can't do much. You know what? We'll start heading him south, but we're going to take a long way. We're going to go here, and then we'll move into Los Angeles where he can encounter the city space there. It's better than encountering nothing, I suppose. And that will end the movement phase. Now we got to go to our adventure phase. Now, here's part of the challenge there. She has to roll a die, so we're going to put the bull out. On a 4, 5, or 6, because she's in the deep jungle, she does get to keep that exploration marker there, and the next turn she'd get to roll 2 dice. Now, if she doesn't roll a 4, 5, or 6. So let's hope for the best and hope that she finds it in one shot. She did, so she rolled a 5. So we know that the treasure's there, and she can actually go after it immediately. And in fact, that is what we're going to do. So I'm going to leave the bowl out because we're probably going to need to roll some dice. And she's going to go for her first test here against this adventure. So we're grabbing the danger deck, which we have here ready to go. Here it is. And we're going to take the first one from the bottom. It says Occupied Territory. This one's going to be pretty good for her, I think. It says, Nazis, when did they get here? Sneak out the back door, find another way out, or let them know let them know how you feel about fascism. So she can make an agility check with a success of 1 6 or a cunning check with a success of 2 5s or fight. So we're going to put that right there for the moment. Now she has an exceptional agility. It's 5. So I do believe that, and I do believe we're going to take that route. She only needs 1. She get a roll of 6. So let's hope that on 5 dice she can get a 6. And I really don't have anything else that we can play, but that would help her. So she's just got to make the roll, and she did. So she made a 1 6, and she succeeded at this adventure. So we're going to get the 3 glory and put that up, and I need to decide then if she's going to press on or not. So we completed Occupied Territory. So it's a hard debate because of the value of that treasure, a villain is going to show up at that treasure. It's worth 5. And there is no villain there right now because one of the villains was KO'd and the other one collected a treasure, or not KO'd but delayed, and the other one collected a treasure and went back. So he's going to come on the board again in the villain adventure phase. Now, so I'm thinking maybe we take a risk and keep going. Gosh, she's wounded though. She cannot take a wound. That's for sure. But she's only going to take a wound if she gets in a fight. I think we're going to go for it, guys. So let me grab the adventure deck again, and we'll pull out the next card. Hopefully it'll be something that she can do. Okay, we're going to pull, we got Dark Ritual. This one doesn't look so good for us, guys. It looks a little tougher. It says Danger, Magic, Sneak. Oh. So once per sneak test. Okay, she did not make a sneak test yet. So we can roll Cunning, and that this is what they call a deadly challenge. That's what those 3 red marks mean. It means that she has to make it in one shot, or she can make a lore test of 5 plus with a 2, or fight the Order of the Crimson Hand, and they get +2 fight dice. Well, we're definitely not going to fight. She could possibly make that cunning roll, or that no, cunning. Her cunning's only a 3. She's probably better off trying to go for the lore. So we're going to put the card right here. She's only got a 2 lore, but it's not a deadly test, so she can keep rolling if she succeeds. We really, again, don't have anything that can help her. So I guess we're just going to have to go for it and see if we can make the best of this. This may end up in a cliffhanger situation for us, and we'll lose this glory. I hope not. So yeah, she did fail this, So we are going to immediately go into a cliffhanger. It says the void opens. It's got higher glory. It says it's too late. The ritual is complete, and the void to another, and the void opens to another world, pulling you in. We have to make a combat 5+. If failed, you are not KO'd, but instead you are immediately moved to a random location on the board, and your turn ends. Okay, well, that's not good because we really wanted to succeed. Now we did not get to keep our fortune, or sorry, our glory, and we lose the. Well, unless we fail this next turn, we're going to lose all our progress on that. Unless we succeed at this next turn, I mean, we're going to lose all our progress on that adventure. Okay, so next up, second up in our adventures is Dr. Zhukov. Now, he's not a good fighter, but he does do well with escaping. And fortunately, if he escapes, he won't get the 7 glory. He does have five wounds left, but this thing's got 5 fight dice. Now, he's an academic, so he only hits on a 5 or 6, and he's got a combat of 4. That's going to be really hard. Now, this Yeti has only got 3 wounds, but he's got a 1 defense as well. Now, he can also make an escape with 2 6s, and he can replace, because of his special ability escape plan, he can replace his agility requirement with cunning, which is 5. We might as well try a fight round with the Yeti and see what happens. So let's put that there on the dice bowl. Now remember, Zhukov, he's going to get 4 dice, but he only hits on a 5 or 6. So here's his 4 dice, and then we're going to get 5 dice for the Yeti. So and of course the Yeti hits on a 4, 5, or 6. They both do have a defense of 1. So let's see how this goes for us. Yeah. So whoa, wow! Look at this, guys. 3 hits for us, and 2 hits for the Yeti. That's actually pretty good. So that's going to result in 1 wound for Dr. Zhukov and 2 wounds for the Yeti. That means he only needs 1 more. This might actually work out for us. Okay, so here's the 1 wound for Dr. Zhukov. Now I'll put these 2 wounds on the Yeti. And I think it's worth us rolling again, guys. So I'm going to pick up the dice. Again, we don't have any special dice or ability that can help us. Remember that Dr. Zhukov can only hit on a 5 or 6. And what do we get there? We did get 1 more. That's not enough to kill him. And we got 3 more from the Yeti. So the problem is the Yeti does deflect a wound. So do we. So we took 2 more. That puts us at 4 out of 6. He still only got 1. It's getting a little tight, but we can keep going. So there's R2 for there. He did not actually take anything because he, the Yeti, because he defends against 1 wound as well. So I think we'll just we'll have to keep going. Let's give it 1 more try, guys, and see what we can do here. Let's hope that that our doctor doesn't die. Okay, guys, let's roll our dice. Well, we got 2 wounds for we got 2 wounds for the Yeti and 3 wounds for Dr. Zhukov, which knocks him down to 2 wounds. That puts him at 6. We defeat the Yeti, but we also get KO'd. Not the worst thing that happens, because he does get the 7 glory, which he will lose a D6 worth, so hopefully not too many. But it's better than nothing, I suppose. That's not the worst scenario that could have happened. So we did defeat the Yeti, but we did get KO'd. So we only had 1. This would have been 2 of 3 challenges on that treasure before he got KO'd. So he loses his progress, unfortunately, and he does get KO'd. But we do get to collect 7 glory, and I'm going to take the markers from him as well. That's a little unfortunate. It would have been nice if we had succeeded at that. He got pretty close, but he wasn't quite that lucky. Anyway, here's his glory right here. I'm going to put that on his board, and then we're going to KO him in his city. So he's going to go back to Moscow. He was up here, so we're going to put him here in Moscow, where he is KO'd, and take the dice out because I need to roll 1 more die for this. He rolled a 2, so that's all he lost. So he got 5 glory left. That could have been a lot worse, all things considered. Okay, now we're going to go on to the adventure phase for Jake Zane. Okay, Jake is in a city. He's up here in Los Angeles. Now he doesn't get any special bonuses for that. He does gain +1 cunning while he's in a space with another hero or villain, but that doesn't help him anything with the city. So let's just draw our city card and see what comes up. Okay, here's our city card. It says just another day in the city. Hey, wait, I'm in a major city. I think that triggers. And also we're going to shuffle. May fully heal and shuffle. He's not damaged. We're going to shuffle the city deck up. I don't know what that's going to do for us. But I do believe that this Just Another Day card allows us to roll on the major city events. So let me take a look at that and be right back. Yeah, so that's correct, guys. So here's the sheet on major city events. You can see right here, anytime a hero is in a major city and draws the city card Just Another Day in the city, after resolving this card, they can then roll a d6 on the major city card. And we're going to do that. Since we're in Los Angeles, we're going to get to roll that. Kind of neat. And the only thing we're going to do is reshuffle the city deck. That's not a huge ordeal because we really hadn't done much with it. And I think we only had drawn one card out of the city deck that was on the bottom. So I'm shuffling that up right now. Just give it a little shuffle. Now we're going to get the chart out and we're going to roll on this major city event, which is going to be neat. I haven't done this before. And I haven't really read them because I want to be surprised. So let's roll a d6, see what we come up with. We got a 5. So, looking at our 5 on Los Angeles, it says, movie premiere. You are invited to the Hollywood premiere of the newest Jenny Butler film. Draw 2 event cards. Well, not going to knock that down. You know, so it's very tailored to Los Angeles, too, at the movie premiere. So, what do we get? Okay, drawing our 2 event cards. We get Volcanic Eruption. Says play on any hero, enemy, or villain in a mountain space. They immediately take d6 wounds. Any temple there collapses on a d6 of roll of 4+. Or while in a mountain space during adventure phase, we can gain an extra 3 glory. We also gain extra effort. Play on any hero to give them +2 agility or +2 combat for 1 fight round. Those are the 2 things that we gained from our movie premiere. There are no villains out right now, so I'm not going to worry about that. So it was a reasonably successful trip for Jake Zane into the city of Los Angeles. That is going to conclude our adventure phase for our heroes, which means next we're going to move on to our villain phase. Boo. Okay, so the first thing we do is we draw a villain event card. So here's the villain event deck, and we're just going to draw the first card off the top. Forbidden Knowledge. It says this card plays on a random villain in play. I guess we have 2, so on a 1, 2, 3 it'll be the Colonel. On a 4, 5, or 6 it'll be Tressa. So 6. So Tressa actually has +2 wounds. She's actually now pretty tough. She's tougher than the Colonel with 8 wounds total. Okay, well that was the villain event. So let's that didn't do a whole lot, which wasn't, I mean, other than beef up a villain, which is not good because that's the way she is for the rest of the game. But now we're going to move on to the Outpost and Zeppelin phase. Okay, so the villains still only have 1 outpost, so we're going to roll a 6-sided dice, and on a 4, 5, or 6, we're going to randomly drop a Nazi soldier into location. We have managed to succeed at dropping a Nazi soldier every single time. So let's draw a location card. Now remember, these have been shuffled, so we actually have a risk of going into a similar territory. Pacific Northwest, we're going to drop a Nazi into the Pacific Northwest. Here's one of the Nazi figures, and Pacific Northwest is going to be just above San Francisco there, up in the top corner of the map. Okay, next we're going to go on to the Zeppelin phase, and we're going to draw a location card to see where the Zeppelin's heading. The Zeppelin, this is far away, this is nice. The Zeppelin's heading for the Ivory Coast. Not so likely he's going to make it this time, which means it won't be dropping another zombie, Nazi. So it rolled a 5, Nazi zombies, that'd be interesting. Okay, we're going to go try and take the shortest route there. So the Ivory Coast is here. That's 1, 2, 3, yeah, it didn't quite make it, 4, 5. Could it make it another way? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. No, it can't there. It can only get one away. Okay, so it's right there. It did not make it to its destination, and therefore did not get its to its destination. Drop off another Nazi. So next up we have our villains. Now I have our villains over here on the card here. The only thing that's going to happen for Tressa is she's going to stand up, meaning she's going to be ready next phase. But we are going to place Colonel Stahl on one of the treasures, and if I look at it right, it will be the treasure where Mei Chen is in a cliffhanger. So here is where Colonel Stahl appears, where he will go after this treasure on this turn. And what I'm talking about, because I had the camera at the villains, that's the treasure he's going after there with in the spot with Mei Chen. The reason he's doing that is a 5, because it's in the deep jungle. It's a 5, and it only requires 2 adventures. So we could be in a little danger of losing that adventure or that treasure here. So actually, since he was readied, and we have now deployed him. It says a villain that is currently ready will be deployed to the board at an artifact with the highest fortune value and with no other. Then if it says deployed, a villain that is already deployed to the board will get an adventure phase. So Colonel Stahl shows up. Now I also looked. He has to search for that treasure just like Mei did. So he may not find it, which is awesome. And that actually is going to end our villain adventure phase. So we're just going to go into our replenish artifacts phase, which there aren't any. We still have 4 on the board, and that's going to actually end our game session for today. So thanks for watching. We'll get around to the next one, and I look forward to playing the next round. This has been a fun game so far, and I was glad to see that we got to do a major city event and go to a movie premiere. That's pretty cool. And we'll continue on with our adventures with Jake Zane, Dr. Zhukov, and Mei Chen. Have a good evening. Thanks for watching.